The Kimpton Monaco in downtown Seattle. In this video, I'm going to share with you my experience staying at this hotel, information about it, the location. Is this the right place for you? I want to help you to be a smart traveler. Coming up. And if you're new here, I'm Christine Lozada. I'm making this video to help you be a smarter traveler. More info is in the description, especially if you want to price compare to see if this is the right price point for you. I'll share what I paid at the end because I booked it through my Amex. Let's start with the helpful info to know about this property, starting with how many rooms are here. There are 189 rooms at this hotel property, and it's about 9 floors, with the top floors, this actually confused me, the top floors being like a special set of rooms of top 3 floors. And so that has its own elevator. So don't go in those if you're on the other floors. I'm staying on the 6th floor. The type of room I'm staying in is the Monaco Suites. I'm gonna do a full walkthrough on that with you as well. But it's also helpful to know that this property just went through a full renovation in 2025, in August of 2025. And it's beautiful. There's a lot of just really nice spaces around the hotel. So let's talk about some of the things to know. As soon as you walk in, the lobby space is absolutely gorgeous. It's just a really nice seating area. And this is also the space that they hold their daily 5 to 6 p.m. social hour, where they'll be set up with a bar, serving wine, as well as having some small bites to eat. There's also a separate area where you can work. They have more of like a work large table there. And then they have some items that you can get for like snacks and drinks and things like that to bring to your room, obviously a paid thing. But they don't have an in-room mini bar, so that's a couple helpful things to know. 2 other things that you'll see in the lobby. One is they have bikes on site. So this is an amenity available to you if you want to bike around downtown Seattle. I'll share more about that in a second. The other thing that they have down there is the Marin restaurant. Wow. I dined there for lunch, and these were the best Turkish eggs I've ever had. My boyfriend had the fish and chips, absolutely delicious. So I definitely recommend checking out the restaurant. I'm actually drooling just thinking about it right now. I really loved going here, and it's worth checking out. Let's talk about one other amenity that's helpful to know about, which is the gym. The gym is located on the lower level, and that's also where there's like a lot of conference rooms and things like that. But the gym is 24/7, and it's actually like a full-size gym. So everything that you need is down there. I don't love that there's no like natural light, but I mean, that's not the end of the world. If you want to get a good workout, you got everything you need down there on the lower level. Let's talk about the location, because this one, in my opinion, is pretty important. You're actually in a great location, and there's a couple things I want to say about that. One, getting to Pike Place, there's a lot of hills in this area. I didn't totally anticipate that. So I was like, oh yeah, I want to use like the bikes that they have. And then I realized there's a lot of hills. So walking distance to get to like Pike Place would be like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how slow you are. But one thing that I really loved, and also the waterfront. The waterfront's about an 8-minute walk. And this is one thing I definitely recommend. They provide an amenity in which there's like 2 experiences around Seattle that you can get complimentary on the hotel. I chose the one for the observatory. The observatory is just 4 blocks away. You go up to the 73rd floor, and you can see this amazing view of Seattle. It's a must, like an absolute must. Obviously, try to go with good weather. I was very, very lucky. But the hotel's just in a great location. And one of the things I love is that on 4th Avenue, 4th Street, they have the bike lane, and the bike lane goes in both directions, and it's like a dedicated bike lane. And so one of the things that's been incredibly helpful for me is using the Uber app to use the Lime scooters and the Lime bikes. And that's been a really great way of getting around. One other thing that I thought has been really helpful, because I've been taking Uber cars just about everywhere as well, is that right in front of the hotel property, there's like an area where Ubers can pull over safely. And it's just a really busy street. And so that has actually helped significantly with a lot of transportation stuff. So that's helpful to know. You're also just walking distance from a lot of amazing restaurants. One of my favorite spots is Purple Wine Bar and Cafe. That's literally a 2-minute walk right outside. You're just in a great location, so I've really loved that for the Kimpton Monaco. Let's jump into a room tour because I booked the Monte Carlo suite. So let's talk about that, and then I'm gonna walk you through how much I paid as well as a mistake I made. So let's talk about the room. All right, let's start with a room tour because I mean, we all know this. On day one, that's when the room is the cleanest. So I just checked in. I won't film this video until I have experienced it for a few days, but I just want to share some first impressions with you. The first thing is that this place is huge. It has its own separate living room from its bedroom space. Let's actually start in the bedroom because I was like, oh, sweet. They have like an area where I can work, they have a desk, but they also have this nice seating area. So you can kind of like, you know, put on shoes, get ready, have another place to put things down on. I could imagine if I didn't have luggage racks here, I would put it over there. But this looks comfy. I wish there were 2 chairs, but beggars can't be, oh, I'm not a beggar today, but 1 chair over here. We got a nice light up here. My view is nothing spectacular. I'm on the 6th floor. I don't know, actually never mind. This little building action here going on is kind of nice. This is where the front of the hotel is looking at, so the entrance is literally just below me. But there's nice natural light coming in. The windows are rather large. They don't actually open. But looking over at the bedroom, I mean, this bed looks so comfy. I love the bedding on the Kimpton beds. But we have some like really nice finishes on the bedside tables. I think those are really nice. I think these lamps are really lovely in terms of decor. That's cool. And then as we move back into the living room space, I love that it has these doors. So these actually slide shut, which is quite nice. And then in the living room space, I will admit, this feels a little bit dark for me in here. I do think I have all the lights on though. I don't think it gets any brighter than that. So you have like a little couch over here with these tables, an additional seating area. And on this side, I was like, ooh, what's in here? So these are all empty. You can put your own belongings in there. On this side, you have the mini fridge. There isn't actually anything in it. I mean, I wish there's champagne in there, but alas, empty. I'm gonna have to fill it with champagne. And then on the other side, you have just like your basic coffee stuff. Not anything exciting. They do have coffee downstairs in the mornings, so that's nice. Then you have your TV on this side, and phone, and then water and ice bucket, etc. This could be another place you could put a luggage rack. Obviously, I have just a ton of luggage on this trip. This is nice. You have this full floor to ceiling mirror, which is nice. And then I actually really like this cute little detail where you can hang things. They have these little birds. It's cute. And one thing, if you have not stayed at a Kimpton property, I love the robes. And I actually haven't used these robes before. They have different style robes at each of their hotels. I just recently stayed at the Shinjuku Kimpton in Japan, in Tokyo, awesome. But I'm excited to try these robes. These look really nice. And then they always provide a yoga mat in here. I'm gonna get my yoga on, that'll be kind of nice. You also have obviously your safe and then your extra bedding and then iron. I actually do need to iron something, sadly, I hate ironing. And an umbrella, which is nice. And then when it comes to the bathroom's actually smaller than I thought. It's totally fine. I'm only here for 2 nights, but sometimes I like a large, luxurious bathroom. But they have like the nice finishes. And one of the things that I love about the Kimpton properties are, oh God, I love this frickin' body lotion. I actually bought it from the Kimpton style website or whatever it is. But they have the lotion and the hand soap, but I also really love, I'm not a big fan of the shampoo, but it's helpful to know that they have all the different full size body wash, conditioner, etc. I love the oolong. Oh, I lied. I love the shampoo. I don't love the conditioner. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So full shower, that's quite nice. Cool. So I would say first impressions, I'm actually really excited. It's nice and spacious, places to sit, etc. I'm excited to post up here for a few nights to relax, get some work done, and get prepped for my trip ahead. But this is your room tour. So that was the room that I stayed in, but there are lots of different room types here that you can choose from. And the price points can vary, like between $280 to $520. I mean, it really just depends, and it also depends on seasonality. I'm here right before getting onto Virgin Voyages. I cruise on that ship a lot if you watch watch my channel. If you ever want to try it out, more info in the description below. We are top 10 first mates. We can get you a great deal, but they're sailing out of Seattle to Alaska for their very first time. So I am here during the month of May 2026. So just timing wise, that's the time of year I'm here. Seasonality will drive how much these things cost. But let's talk through how I booked it, because you might be interested in that. So I booked this using my Amex Platinum, and through that, I was able to get additional amenities like $100 on property to use however you want, an earlier check-in and a later checkout. Those were some of the amenities I received. I already upgraded the room to the Monte Carlo suite, so I paid about $440 per night before all the taxes, amenity fees, etc. In the end, it's basically around $600 a night is how much I'm paying for this property. Am I happy with it? To be honest, I've had a fantastic stay. The service has been absolutely excellent. I love Kimpton properties. They always come with the robes and really nice amenities, and just the in-room experience has been really fantastic. I would say this stay is for you if you want a little bit more of a luxurious stay. The mistake I made is that I was planning my entire trip around the Kimpton other property. There's like a vintage property that is a few blocks away from here. It's really close. It's a more reasonable price point. I don't want to use the word reasonable. It's a lower price point normally. And I planned everything that we were going to do based off of that location. And I was like, oh wow, I've been looking at the wrong property this whole time. So just know that this spot, both are in a great location, but this spot tends to be a little bit more expensive than the other Kimpton property. Obviously, there's tons of great hotels all around downtown Seattle. Check the full blog post if you want more suggestions around what I've been looking at. That might be helpful for you. It's in the description below. If this was helpful, cheers that like button, consider subscribing. I'm Christine Lozada, Price Compare. Your stay here, more info in the description below. And if you want to see more, go check out the full blog post as well. And if you've ever considered sailing Virgin Voyages, more info in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.